Hello and welcome to the Needs Languages and Parenting. This is lesson 5, and this is conflict in the needs languages, alignment or opposite, and connector defined. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about alignment and opposites. In the last lesson, we talked about the difference between being silent and silenced. One of my favorite sayings is, you can't have me without we, and we without me. So I want you to take a look at the M upside down is a W, and the W upside down is an M. Some societies are mostly social societies, meaning they are about the collective, the we. Others are mostly individual societies, meaning they are mostly about the me. In either extremes, it can be harmful. What happens when we live in extremes is either we can either silence each other or try to force people to align, which can make people sick. Sometimes people can't align because they don't have the same needs languages or their needs languages aren't in alignment. Remember, and this can also impact love languages as well, which we aren't going to talk about in these lessons. I talk about that and how that impacts needs languages and other lessons. So remember, being silent is a choice. Being silenced is forced upon you by another individual. People who choose to be silent are usually engaging in skills, understanding that it might not be wise to speak at that moment. So what does alignment look like? Alignment is when people have the same needs languages and they are in agreement. Not being in alignment is not being in agreement in their needs languages or even needs. Let's give an example of how this might look. Two siblings, RV and RC. One thinks the best way to put the Legos away is by building them and keeping them as buildings once they are done. The other thinks that once you build, you keep it for a day or so, then take it apart and try to put something else or do the project over again. The two are always fighting. Which needs are they fighting in? Which are not in alignment? If you answered the R, you are correct. So the needs is the R. Let's give another alignment example. Two siblings share a room. One is an RC and one is a CV. One makes the bed nice and tidy, putting everything in its place, and does not like a lot of stuff in the room. The other likes to bring the family pet into the bedroom because they love animals. They want to sleep with the family pet. They also want to put posters on the wall, which annoys the other sibling. They are both struggling with wanting the bedroom to be different than the other party. Which needs are not in alignment? In other words, which needs are in conflict? If you said C, you are correct. That is because we are talking about environment in this situation. But it could also look at, one is saying it's costing me because I have to clean up after the other one. And the other one could be saying, this is the best way to do it. So those needs could also be out of whack as well. Again, alignment is about the same needs language not being in agreement, or in other words, being in conflict on how they are perceived in the world. So it would be the C not being in alignment because it is the same needs. So what would opposites look like? Opposites are when two people's needs languages are opposite of each other. It would be an IV, an RC, or CV, an IR, or IC, and RV. This is usually rare in families, but can happen. If a parent is not aware of this, what can happen is that they can try and make the child conform or criticize the child, saying, I don't understand why you do that. Conforming can look like you are just like me, or why can't you just be like me? This can make the child feel like they can't measure up. This can be a real struggle in parenting. You can't make your child conform to your needs languages or love languages or anything else. They just can't. It's like telling a cat to become a tree. Their molecular structure can't. When we do this to our children, it is harmful. It can be abusive and leave lasting scars. I think your bedroom would look best with wallpaper. Mom is speaking. I think this would be the best environment for me and you. Mom, I want to be like the other kids and have posters. The kid is speaking IV. What they are saying is, it's important to me to fit in. If I don't fit in, it will cost me. Please let me have the benefits to my life. The two are speaking at each other. Who do you think will win? Of course, the parent will win, and the kid will feel broken and feel like things are costing them. IC was calling to the studio again. They need me. Speaking, I am big and important in this environment. I am needed and am rewarded here. RV says to the parent, can't they find someone else? You're always giving more time to them than us kids. This isn't right. It's costing the family by you not being here. They are talking at each other. IR says, let's go to the store. It won't take long. There are some great sales going on and we need to get new clothes. You're going to look so amazing this year. I will find the best prizes for you and me and the rest of the family. CV. I would rather stay home. I'm tired. I've been at school all week. I don't want to have to go out again and get ready. Please, can I stay home? Going out into the environment, going away from the environment home is going to cost me too much. There's no benefit in me leaving, is what the CV is saying. Because an IR doesn't speak cost versus benefit, they didn't think to explain to the CV the benefits of shopping for them. Instead, they are talking about the best prize they would find. See, this is what happens when we're only in our own needs languages and not thinking about the other person's needs language. Even though you may be opposites, you can learn the opposite needs languages and communicate. There is hope. There's also another thing that can help, and we'll talk about that in lesson 6. Another way to explain it is alignment. Another way to talk about alignment is that I like to speak Pacific Northwest English, and my friend speaks UK English. Opposites is like me speaking English and my friend speaking Japanese. Before we conclude, I want to briefly explain what a connector is. A connector in the needs languages is like an interpreter for those who have opposite needs language. So if I speak English and my friend speaks Japanese, we would have someone who spoke both languages to interpret so we can communicate with each other. How would that look in the needs languages? IR dad, CV kid, RC mom. Mom and dad both speak R, mom and kid both speak C. So dad can be like the interpreter or the mediator when things go wrong if dad understands the needs languages of what is going on in the conflict as far as needs. So what that means is the interpreter, the kid is speaking CV, the dad is speaking IR, and the mom is speaking RC. So what's going on is, in that situation, the person who is the interpreter here would be, the R would be speaking to mom, the RC would be speaking to dad, and the C would be speaking to kid. So the mom would be connecting to the kid, the R would be connecting to the dad. So it's the way that's interpreted. I know it sounds a little confusing, but it all will be written out in your workbook. So do you see why this can be so powerful in conflict and communication when you have a connector? So one person connects in the same needs connecting. As we conclude this lesson, I'm going to give you a list of words under each needs that will help you discover how you and your kids are communicating your needs languages. Until next time, be well, be safe, and be happy. Thank you.